possible voice issues that we didn't talk about. Mainly because, and this is one of them actually, there are some issues that takes more time and energy to correct. Breathiness in the voice is kind of common. It's not so uncommon actually. And what that means basically, remember I was talking about the vocal cords. When the vocal cords don't close completely for some reason that I will tell you in a moment, the air coming up makes them vibrate and they still create a sound, but some air managed to leak through the vocal cords. And so the sound that you hear is something like this. Instead of okay? Many people have that in their voice, singing or speaking voice. And that is something that can be corrected, but it takes a little bit of time, because what you need to do basically is retrain the muscles around the vocal cords to make the vocal cords close completely so that the sound becomes pure. And that it's a muscular thing, basically. It's like, again, retraining yourself to move or stand or run in a different way. And but it can be corrected, yes. But it takes some time. And normally, depending also on, in my experience, on the age of the person, how many years you've been doing it one way, and then you have to change it to another way. But before we do anything else, I'd like to ask you if you have anything to share about what we just did. Sambhava.
Two parts. One is I wanted to hear what breathiness sounded like. I don't think I know what
Oh, so instead of a full voice, you speak a little bit like this. There's a little bit of breath in the sound. And some people get to a point where, what's that?
Like one of the Sopranos, like Mafia.
Somebody the other day told me, oh, like Marilyn Monroe. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't remember what I think I've ever heard.
I think that was practice.
Yeah, there can be some reasons for a breathy voice, but
yeah.
I guess. I noticed that in general, the people I've been working with, the ones with the breathy voice tend to be more women than men. I don't know why. I don't know that there's a real rule about it, but in my experience, I've found that issue more with women than with guys.
Well, I can give you a class on why that might be.
Okay, you're next. Yes.
I noticed that when I was working with Sundar, when I think for both of us, when the consciousness felt raised, the voice just naturally seemed to go higher and express the consciousness.
Yeah. I mean, what Swami says here about the consciousness being changing when your voice is placed, it goes both ways. I mean, I can think of people who even with a poor voice, but they're able to put out such energy and consciousness that the sound of their voice changes when they speak, especially when they talk about certain maybe spiritual things that are so just so deep and so inspiring. And the voice, everything about them, the body, everything, the voice changes and just matches more that kind of energy. So
I remember in the ashram when we'd practice for Sunday service music, and you would explain Swami's meaning behind something, which was totally different than what I thought. I felt that my voice changed with that. I don't know
in the singing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Question. So I found that when I was simply making a vowel sound without trying to speak words, I found that I was able to feel it resonate in my face and even resonate in my spiritual eye. But when I was speaking words, I found I could feel it in my heart, but I couldn't make it like all the consonants. I couldn't feel it as high as I could feel when I was just.
Yeah, yeah. That's where practice comes in. So if you practice humming, and then humming on the different vowels, then you gradually get used to it. In fact, we didn't have time tonight, but ideally, what you would do is hum on all the vowels for a while, and then you add one consonant. Like, for example, you do meow, and then you add maybe B, and you go B, be, ba, ba, boo, and you gradually get used to
Right.
adding consonants to the vowel, but the vowel still has that same sound. And so it's a process, you know, it's something that you have to become aware of and gradually make your own. But it shouldn't take very long, you know, you can put some time and energy into it and you develop it, for sure. And always remember to have this engaged, because this is the motor, this is the engine of your voice. It's not here, it's here. This produces the sound, but if this is lacking, there's nothing coming out of here and there's a lot of tension happening. So remember that this is also very important. It's like the bow of the violin. You can put all your fingers if you want, that you want, but if you don't have this producing a beautiful sound, you have nothing. So, yes.
Okay, so you don't, the throat needs to be relaxed. How do you actually, I mean, is there some process to get
Yeah.
it to relax?
Again, one thing that you can do is when you hum and then hold the vowel like that, while you hold, focus on your throat and try to consciously relax. It's really something that you have to put your mind to do, but if you do it on when you do one sound at a time, it's easier than trying to relax as you speak, because you've been speaking for a number of years in a certain way. So focus on relaxing one sound at a time until you become familiar with that feeling in your throat of producing a sound in a relaxed way. And then gradually that becomes your own. So, you know, all the things that we've done tonight, for some of you are immediate, but it's just to give you an idea of what we can do to improve the voice. But obviously practice is important. You know, practice makes perfect. And so,
Perfect practice.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, practice makes permanent. We've been practicing incorrectly things for years
Oh,
that
I
now
see.
feel permanent. So
Right.
correct practice.
yeah, yeah, there you go. And one tip, because I know we're all very busy and it's hard to find time to do anything else in our lives, what I do for my voice, I practice voice in my little commutes at the village, like from home to the office, from the office to the market, from the market to the expanding, I don't know. But I have time in each one to do at least one voice exercise. And honestly, I don't like to admit it, that's pretty much all I do because I don't have time to do more. I teach and I hear other people do the exercise, but I don't do it myself as much.
And so you
As I
drive
should.
at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah. So I drive and I do one. Then I drive the other place and I do the other. And there you go. I fit in 15, 20 minutes a day of vocal warm-ups just driving my car.
He's been doing them for a lot of years.
Yes, yeah,
People
right.
are swerving, you know.
Oh, I see. That's your concern. Okay.
Did you do that in LA in your commutes?
Yeah,
Well, not the first
4
5
hours.
months. It was too scary. But after that, yes, I started.
That's where I used to do all my rehearsing.
Yeah.
Was in the car.
Long commutes, it's just like, okay, I have time. When I drive to town, I do long tones for 30 minutes. It's
Yeah.
great.
And Swami actually used to hum. He used to hum throughout the day to keep his voice warm, and he recommended that for people who use their voice.
Yeah, humming is a simple but very, very effective way to keep your voice in good shape and engaged and with the right resonance. It's very simple, but yes.
When we were just humming, I didn't have any difficulty with the breathing, but when
I was reading, I was having difficulty breathing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was finding every so often I'd be kind of sucking up air.
Yeah.
I'd run out.
Well, what you need to do when you practice the reading is, and this is something that I forgot to tell you before you did it, but try to consciously read only a small amount at a time. And then take your time to inhale consciously from here, and then read another small amount. One thing that Larry helped me remember is that a big mistake that pretty much all of us do when we speak is that we don't take enough breaths. We just keep going. And even when we're out of breath, we're still talking and talking. And we're still out of breath, but we're still talking. And we're out of breath, but we still need to say something. And it's amazing. Instead, that also really wears out the vocal cords. Because when you're running out of breath and you're still talking, again, the vocal cords don't work properly anymore. And you start to get issues. So ideally, especially when you give a talk and you're talking to a large group of people, short sentences and more breaths than you think you need is very important. Even when you don't feel that your lungs are really empty, take a breath. It helps your voice, but it helps what you're saying. It feels more relaxed. It's not rushed. There's no way to rush. And it's really, really good. So thank you for saying that. That's important. But when you practice, really take the time to take a full inhalation with your belly muscles and then start speaking again. That way you should be able gradually to feel more that it's coming from here.
It helps the listener too, because the listener can then break up their listening. Instead of trying to get it all,
Yeah.
they can get bits,
Yeah.
and it'll stick better than it will if it's just this one big, long narration.
Yeah, I really appreciate Davy when she talks. She talks slowly, but it's not slowly in a way that she puts you to sleep. It's slow in a way that it feels like a normal soul pace. It's not whoa, whoa, whoa. It's, one thing and another, and then they're so huge and deep that it's not like you need 10 of them at a time. You need time to digest one, and then, So anyways. Yes?
When you had us stand at the wall, we weren't really clear, is it just for posture, or were we supposed to do something with the wall?
Oh, yeah. No, the wall was just to give you more, if you lean against the wall, you're more aware of the diaphragmatic breathing. That's all. If you're really good with that, you don't need to stand against the wall. And so, yes.
One technical aspect of this particular exercise was, Marjorie and I noticed that when we would hold the paper down and look down, it would slightly put a kink in the throat, whereas if we held it up,
Yeah.
it's much different.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, absolutely. So posture. I always look at her. Oh, yes. So, before... Oh, and also this.
When you wanted me to remind you about the fast talking, so many people that talk so fast that you can't.
Yeah, well, that goes with breathing more often and just slow down. Slow down. Nobody will... I don't think people might get to a point of being boring because they're speaking more slowly. I hope not. But it really gives clarity to what you're saying. It allows you to enunciate better. Sometimes people speak so fast that they're mumbling all the words together. It's hard to understand. If you enunciate better, you're forced to use your breathing better and to use your voice better. And so it's really all a win-win. Bhagavati is just sending around evaluation form that you can take with you. I would really appreciate if
Or fill it out now.
you can do it now, or you can do it later and put it in my box. I'd like to share with you that I'm looking into teaching a class like this down in Southern California in the spring at Chapman University. And it would be particularly helpful for me to get feedback,
Sure.
what you think of this, just for me to be ready and prepared to do that, which I've never done before. I've never taught to a university group of people. So, anyways,
Any students or instructors?
students, that's the College of Education.
You like
So
to talk
people
really
who
fast
will
then.
be, what's that?
You like to talk really fast then for them.
Well,
That'd be great.
but those are people who will be speaking a lot, and hopefully they will start the right way by not abusing their voice.
Permission box 170.
170, thank you, yes.
So, Pushpa, did everyone get one except for Pushpa?
Oh.
There were more people than, oh, okay. Okay, you guys, that's great.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then, I'm just gonna say, you can either put your email on that when you turn it in, or there's a mailing list. And on that form, there's the option if you'd like to get his newsletter, announcements, nobody's doing, then mark the box, or you can fill this out
What
and
about
that'll serve the
classes?
same.
You offer classes.
Yes. So there's two. If you want to go deeper in this, there's two ways. One, we can do lessons together, which is what I've been doing with a few people. There's also a course that I recently published online with Ananda. It's called Conscious Communication. So we're going to launch it in January, but it's already available. So if you go to Online with Ananda and Google, search Conscious Communication, you should find it there. And like I say, we'll be launching it soon, and I will be giving a webinar that goes with the launching of the course. But especially if you feel that you have particular issues with your voice that you think you might need extra help with, just let me know. I'm happy to help. And we can set up a time where we can meet and see what your particular area of difficulty might be.
How long is your class at Chapman?
Probably a couple of hours.
Okay.
Yeah. We
So you
haven't
have a
really...
little bit more time than tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Tonight was... I wanted to just give a little taste, enough to understand a little bit, and so it always seems like there's a lot of time, and then...
Well, if you get one good exercise that you can take home with you out of a workshop like that, that can hugely change things. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you
Taste
so much.
it.
Thank you.
Shall we help put the chairs away?
If you feel so inclined.
But please